cold motherfucker, glacier water in my veins. Got a gift bringing change, and this shit kinda strange. Pussy bitch, you ain't never seen me switch up the game. I can shine like the sun if I'm standing in the rain. I ain't never seen a problem, bring solutions to the thing. Switch lanes. Got a couple hoes in my whip on that back door. Shit, you get exposed in this bitch. Couple flows I can rip, cause my soul feeling rich. I'm creating different ways of being cold in this bitch. Don't need no code in this bitch. These eternal rhymes of a heavenly mind, reflecting the divine. Put this shit in my for a kickback. I ain't really trying to unwind. Every day a different battle, new mountain I'ma climb. From the motherfucking dog, but best believe that I'ma shine. Peak the grind. I can see my visions as they trickle down my spine. Got a couple different bitches, I ain't let them cross the line. Even if she hella fine, she ain't gon' get a piece of mine. I ain't tryna intertwine, but you must be crazy. I ain't really give a single fuck, bitch, pay me. I've been kicking hella different dope like the 80s. I ain't never ever told a bitch, come save me. Everything good, everything gravy. Putting in that work, flexing cause I'm wavy. Straight up out the motherfucking lazy. Ballin' for a motherfucking habit, but great. How? I got better shit to do, I'm staying in my zone. I don't pay attention who be playing in my phone. Flexing at the function, probably staying in my home. Pull up on them shining like the day and then I'm gone. Bitch, you need to stay up out the way, ain't alone. I don't need a loan, I just need your dome. Pull up wrong way, I get to spraying with the chrome. Where your tone? I'm the only motherfucker flexing like that. Tryna send me negativity, I send it right back. Kitty cat on my lap, bust it down for these rats. Shut your mouth if you're talking, nigga, never stay fat. Broke boy from the south, but I never hate that. I was always taught to get it, even if they say lag. You just pointing out obvious, I never chase cash. Bitch, boy, that's what I am. Screaming for the government, I'm killing Uncle Sam. Breaking down the blunt, I'm about to twist up the grams. I ain't never been enticed by what they post on the gram. I be sick with my hands, I never speak. To ride in the pain, I'm about to dunk on your band. Put a pump on your mans, I'm about to fuck up your plans. Broad day, I'm shifting shit, I'm about to fuck up the sand. Bad hoes on my left and my right. I be so galactic, I've been really out of sight. Fucking up the game and I've been grinding overnight. Got me shining really bright, I've been fucking up their sight. Put in work, I ain't stopping for the lights. Trying to stop me, better find another fight. In my lane, I ain't swerving to the right. You be trying to be me, I be moving like I'm Christ. Waste your life, say it thrice. Have no reaper of disguise, I ain't looking to the sky. See the power in my eyes, I see heaven in my sides. Everything just fall in place when I hop up on the mic. Shut up. Oh, hold up. I just found a fucking beat that I might want to use for the next one. I could tell off the first fucking 2 seconds of that shit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the communication station. We in this bitch with your boy Schwetzy in this motherfucker. So as you can tell, we got a bit of a conundrum for you guys today. I don't know why I decided to use that word, but that's the word we're gonna use. Now let me make sure that the mic is in order. Oh fuck. Let me make sure my mic working properly. Okay, I can hear everything properly. Seems like the video is going good. No skips, no stops, no nothing like that. So we're gonna get into this shit right off the rip. Shout out to that last previous song that was just played as well, by the way. That's gonna be the final track on the new album that's dropping on the 31st of this month, the Ninth Circle. If you haven't seen it, tap in. The album artwork is sick. The fucking tracks that are gonna be on it are sick. So stay tuned for that, and you guys keep on the lookout for that shit. Stay tuned for October the 31st. That's when that shit is dropping. But anyways, let's jump straight into this shit, and I'm gonna go ahead and give a forewarning / disclaimer for this shit. I've been up literally all night in between recording, taking small breaks to play some video games and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I've been heavily on the grind here lately, and like I said, last night we was up all night. We was in the studio all night, fucking putting in work for this new project and shit like that, and get things settled for that. So I will let you know, like I said, I've been grinding really hard. So this might not be a full length type of video as I usually do. This one might be a little bit more on the shorter side. We'll see as we get into the swing of things and see how our systems are operating and shit like that. And if they're where I wanted at, then we'll just continue on and keep going. But if I need to slow it down and chill out a little bit, then I'm just going to end it wherever I find a good stopping point, and then we'll jump back into this and give a more in-depth and broader approach to it at a future date. But as of right now, I'm feeling all right. A second ago, before like I hopped on the microphone and turned the camera on and shit like that, I was getting a little bit of like weird nausea and like weird energetic shit going on. So I was kind of feeling a little hesitant to even do this in the first place. But now that we in here, I feel just fine. So let's jump right into this shit. As you guys can see from the title and from the thumbnail, wait, let me rise up a little bit. You already know I like sitting like super low in this shit. I like to be more centered in the frame. But anyways, as you guys can tell from the title and from the thumbnail, what we're going to be talking about today is what we're going to be talking about today is the cyclical or circular pattern of life. You get what I'm saying? And as you can tell from the description, this is basically going to be a in-depth analysis, breakdown, observation of the patterns and how they present themselves. Because we all experience this to some degree or another. You know what I'm saying? Your shit might not present itself in the exact same way that mine does, but everyone is on a circular, cyclical pattern. You get what I'm saying? So everybody is in different cycles and they go through different cycles to learn whatever lessons they're meant to learn and see whatever things they're meant to see and all these type of things. You get what I'm saying? And whenever I say cyclical or circular, you know what I'm saying? That kind of implies like the head and the tail being synonymous, aka the beginning point and the end point be the same thing. And it kind of is like that. But as you're going through this cycle and you're going through this circular pattern, it more so presents itself as like a spiral, which is why I chose the thumbnail that I chose, which appears like a spiral staircase. You get what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people, their viewpoint be fucked up, how they're perceiving things and their perspective be fucked up. So a lot of the times people will start going through things on a cycle, and the way that they're perceiving it has them like from the top looking down, and it plays out how the image plays out. As far as that's why I chose it for the thumbnail. You get what I'm saying? Your perspective on it allows it to manifest in such a manner that it appears as if you're going down a staircase. That's why you always hear of, oh, that person just got on a downward spiral, and when they got on that downward spiral, it started fucking their whole life up, and then they ended up in prison for 30-40 years with a RICO case and all this extra type of shit. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. It just is due to the fact that that's how you're viewing it at the moment. And whenever you're coming across these cycles, the way that it presents itself to you, you look at it as detriment or negative or something that is something that's like holding you back or blocking you or something like that. You continuing to perceive it like that is why you're actually seeing it as a downward staircase, as a downward spiral, a downward slope. You're always on a negative type of incline. You're on a decline instead of an incline. You get what I'm saying? You're going down instead of going up. Now, all these things are subjective. They're all based upon your personal position and how you decide to view things. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, it's a subjective thing. This can be something where you can turn it on its head and make a downward spiral into an upward spiral. You get what I'm saying? Or a negative cycle into a positive cycle. You get what I'm saying? Now, this to actually do this, it takes a lot of keen noticing, like very keen noticing, and it takes like being very present with yourself and present with moments as they present themselves to you. You get what I'm saying? Because in these moments, you allow, and I don't want to say like this is like a trait or an aspect of a humanistic mind to just view them as negative off the rip and allow them to keep dragging you down and stuff like that. I don't think that's necessarily a human thing. I think that's more so a societal thing due to the programming that a lot of us have received from our upbringing and stuff like that. We went through education systems and all these governmental systems that we've had to deal with, and paying bills and taxes and all these other type of concepts, and what the norm is today, and all this type of shit. So I think the aspect of viewing things in a negative light isn't really necessarily a human thing to do. It's more so of a, that's what people have been programmed to do. So that's just what they do now. You get what I'm saying? People like to lean on to the crutches that are given to them, and they like to lean on to whatever the societal programming is. You get what I'm saying? And we all know where this shit comes from, so we don't even need to explain it. I got 100,000 videos on my channel about where these things derive from and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? But this can play out into anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, whenever we're viewing the internal world and how we're choosing to actively perceive things, it affects things a lot in your day-to-day life and in your actual reality. You get what I'm saying? Like, it will, like, the way that you view things can change everything for you. You get what I'm saying? So, for example, now, this is not to imply some level of being better than somebody, any level of hierarchy system, any level of shit like that, right? But say, for example, on your internal, in your thoughts and feelings, in your mind, in your whatever you want to describe as your internal world, whenever you're in that space of observing the things that are going on there, say, for example, you have a person on your mind. And now let's get very specific with that person. Let's say this person was, we'll give two examples, right? Say that one person was a mentor to you in some stage of your life, right? So by this person being your mentor and shit like that, you come up with things in your mind to put this person on a pedestal, put them above you in some type of way, which would be the concept of, oh, that's somebody that I look up to. Keywords, look up to. You get what I'm saying? Whenever you're in your internal world, that's what you're actually doing. A lot of people don't can't even take the time to sit down with themselves to even begin to process how they view people, places, and things that interact with them physically that affect their internal world. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people can't even put themselves in that position to even analyze these things in the first place. You get what I'm saying? So if you can, and you should, in my opinion, and that's what you should be focusing most of your time and your energy on, is being in the internal world and seeing what your position is and how you view things that you interact with. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, let's get back to the example. You had a person who was a mentor. You quote unquote look up to this person, right? So that means in your internal world, hierarchy wise or on pedestal wise, whenever you get into your imagination and you start to construct an image or a vision out of what it is that you're experiencing at the moment, you will start to realize that you put yourself in a lower position and you're actively looking up to these people. You get what I'm saying? So in the internal world, that puts you in a lower position by default. AKA you are playing with your own value just by looking up to somebody if you're not doing it in the right type of aspect. Now, don't get it fucked up. You can take inspiration from individuals. You could be tuned in or watching somebody who is like very insightful, very wise, very, you know what I'm saying? Whatever trait, whatever aspect, whatever fucking characteristic that this person is showing, that you strive to incorporate into your own system and strive to, you know what I'm saying? Make it a part of not necessarily who you are in a way of like copying things. You get what I'm saying? But like, you like those characters, you like those characteristics and traits, you like what is shown off of this person. And not only do you like it, you think that it would be beneficial to your growth or your path or whatever the fuck concept you want to put it into, whatever type of box and labeling system that you want to attach to it. You know what I'm saying? These are the things you like. These are the things you strive for. So you're seeing a person exemplify everything that you strive to be to a certain degree. So you look up to this person because you're not technically there yet from your perspective, in your sight, you're not there yet. It's something that you still need to do outside of yourself to get to that position. So in your imagination, and I would say more so subconsciously, you view this person as being above you. So when you get into your imagination and into your internal world and shit like that, that's like when you really break these things down, you're gonna see that that's how they start to appear in your imagination or in your internal world. You get what I'm saying? They would appear like that. So what you really got to do, it's not a matter of, oh, this person is somewhere that I'm not at, and I need to do all this external shit, and I still gotta have a 6-figure business, and I still gotta be like this and do this and da 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 to be like this person. When in reality, all you really need to do is internally go into your subconscious mind, go into your unconscious tendencies and subconscious tendencies and shit like that, and fix these things from a root cause. And by default, you would be in the same space as them, and then your imagination will start to be shaped and formed to see more equivalency with the things that you're actually striving for in your woke day-to-day life. You get what I'm saying? You will start to see the equivalency there, and you will start to see yourself on the same level as anyone who, from a physical perspective, looks like they're above you, doing better than you, have more money than you, have more influence than you, have more power than you, have more fame than you, whatever fucking concept you want to say. You get what I'm saying? Depending on what you're actually viewing in the external woke world in your day-to-day life, and what you're entertaining and what you're actually tuned into. You get what I'm saying? You will start to see on the internal aspect, you will start to see the equivalency, because you will start to see, shaped and formed through your internal world, what these characteristics and traits actually look like that you are striving to exemplify yourself, instead of observing them from a external person, place, or thing. You get what I'm saying? You will start to shape up and see what those things actually look like to your internal world, to your imagination, to your whatever fucking term and definition and linguistics we want to use for the fucking bitch ass English language today. You will start to see how you can do that right now. Like, you don't need a 6-figure business. You don't need 100,000 credentials and fucking 10,000 years of being in school and getting 17 million different degrees and all this other type of shit that people gravitate towards because of the societal program. The people that deem these things as beneficial or necessary, or what it takes to be intelligent, or what you have to go through to be successful, or da 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 da. You don't have to do all that shit. You can be in a position internally where you literally pick yourself up out of whatever fucking downward spiral and cycle you was just in, and all this shit that was self-defeating, and fucking all this type of energy you was all tangled up in and shit. You can literally just pick yourself up out of that, drop yourself space that you quote unquote desire to be at. Number one, don't desire it anyways. Don't give a fuck about it. You know that you already there, and it will come to pass. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes time. This is the thing, but it's also a perspective where, from me, like, you gotta know, the ins and outs of those characteristics and traits. It can't just be something that, oh, it's like my hoodie. I change my hoodie every day. I'm just gonna fucking slide the shit on real quick, and it's just gonna be like that. Like, nah, you gotta know, like, the levels and the internal work that it take to even be able to exemplify certain characteristics and traits in the first place. You get what I'm saying? But that's just a big example that we're looking at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So the gist of this example is to understand that there's nobody on this earth that needs to be in a position on a pedestal above you. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the thing about it. We view these things like this internally, and they come to pass in reality. You get what I'm saying? So it would be a situation where, okay, you've been viewing it in that manner for so long. And once again, we're still on the example. You had a mentor, you viewed this person as such and such and such, and da 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 da, and you put them on this pedestal. It will come to pass that this person actually will be above you to a certain degree. You get what I'm saying? If they weren't already, you know what I'm saying? Now, if they were already, it might not have been like vocalized or like readily available in the current moment like that. Like, not a lot of people would have peeped that, or come to tell you about that, and da 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 da, or it wouldn't have been something that is so imposing. You get what I'm saying? Now, whenever you're viewing it as such in the internal realm, and it starts to trickle down and bleed into your reality and actually start to manifest from that frequency and vibration that you was in, from that internal space that you was in whenever you were viewing these things, and you was coming up with imaginations to put people on pedestals and have them above you and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? When it starts to bleed into your reality, now it's something that's imposing. Now it's something that's like right in front of your face and you can't ignore. You get what I'm saying? So even if this person that was your mentor did have a multi-million dollar business, or did have all these degrees and college credentials and all this type of shit, it might have been something that you didn't really even like notice beforehand. You get what I'm saying? Like it would just be something that was like in the wind type shit. It didn't really matter. You get what I'm saying? But the more you view it as such internally, like I said, it becomes imposing on you in your reality. So now every time you interact with this person that you put on a pedestal, every time you see them, it's like, oh, now you accidentally fucking walk into the bedroom with them while they open up their safe. Inside of their safe is fucking more rack A's than you ever seen in your whole goddamn life, and more fucking money than your whole entire family bloodline has ever fucking generated in their entire level of existence. You know what I'm saying? And you see that every time, or every time you walk in, now all of a sudden this guy don't want to meet at this location no more. Now he want to meet at his office now to give you mentorship and advice and shit like that. So every time you walk into the office, you fucking first thing you see on the wall and the plaque, it's gonna like these things happen, bro. So like it's just reality, bro. Like it's literally just reality. Normally, now say for example, you've been to this office 115,000 times and you ain't never noticed a plaque with a doctorate degree on it before, right? But the more that you in that internal space and putting that person on that pedestal, when now, like I said, it bled into your reality. So now every time you walk into that office, for some reason, your eyes are automatically drawn towards a plaque that this person have on the wall of saying what college they went to and the degree that they got, their credentials. You get what I'm saying? So now you separated yourself from this person in the first place. You not only separated yourself from this person, but you also put them you tipped the scales and made this person be like you heavier than them, and they can just be light in weight and float off into the distance and shit and just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. You get what I'm saying? So you already tipped the scales by default. You get what I'm saying? Like you tip the scales by default just by viewing this person in that certain aspect. I had a point I went to with that. Hold up. That's where I was going with that. Brought it back. One hit off the vape, one's drinking the water. Brought it back completely. So, like I said, hold on one second. Hello? All right, we're back. And I didn't forget my point. So, anyways, like I said, you've tipped the scales by default in your internal realm, in your imagination, in your perspective, and how you were viewing this person internally. You weren't vocalizing it. You weren't making it be known to other people. This was just something that you had on your own internal mental and emotional paradigm and the mentalities that you was creating, right? So you already tipped the scales by default. So now the more that you put time and energy and effort into willing that into existence, what happens is now, like I said, you separated yourself, tip the scales. So now in your reality, in your woke life, you're going to see the separation more and more. You get what I'm saying? Like there's going to be physical examples and physical means to give you the receipts of that energy work that you was putting in internally. So separation that you're going to see physically, you're going to see just how different you are from this person. You're going to see just how much quote unquote better this person is than you for the fact of how you was viewing it. You get what I'm saying? Like these things literally just manifest and they bring themselves into reality. So like don't be on a position where you separating yourself from anybody like that and putting them above you and higher than you, because you gonna see how they're better than you. You're gonna see how they're doing more than you. You're gonna see how you would just have to experiment with it. Try both ways. Try for a good period of time viewing somebody and putting them on a pedestal in your internal imagination and internal realm. Put them on that pedestal and see how shit starts to play out. Now, on the other side of things, even if the first impressions that you get from a motherfucker is seeing how they're better than you, how they have more resources than you, how they have more influence, more power than you, even if it's presenting itself in that way, when you come across a motherfucker like that and you know you gonna like be around them for a good period of time, start practicing that. Start viewing yourself equivalency. Start viewing yourself on the exact same level as this person, and start to notice how things will start to be shaped up to show you just how close and how similar you guys are. Not in the way of everyone has their uniqueness and their individuality, you get what I'm saying, but in a way of shit. Now you might start to match this person with resources. You might start to match this person with tangible items. You might start to match this person with your reach and your influence and your power and whatever examples that you want to use. Whatever the fuck it is. Try both sides of it. You get what I'm saying? And this is the thing too. You can even try the two sides of it with the exact same person. You get what I'm saying? Just it would have to be somebody that like for facts you're going to be around for a good period of time, because like I said, these things like don't just manifest overnight. Like it do take a little bit of time to like come to fruition and see the like fruits of your label from a internal to external speaking type of metaphor, allegory, whatever the fuck. You get what I'm saying? Boom. So anyways, that's just one big example for what we're talking about here today. Like we kind of drove off into that example and broke it down for 30 minutes, but that's okay. You get what I'm saying? Because it's all a part of the program. It's all a part of the program. It's all a part of the message. All this shit ties in together. It's just a one big beautiful fucking cyclical circular system. You get what I'm saying? So now let's get into the actual cycles themselves and how they will present themselves to you. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, it's cyclical and it's circular, but it doesn't just stay on a like a ring or like an actual circle. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't just stay in the same position. You either rise or you fall within the cycles that you're going to be experiencing. So it's more of like a spiral. You get what I'm saying? Upward, downward, outward, inward, leftward, rightward, fucking whatever. You get what I'm saying? Whatever direction that you're going towards, and that will be how these things will start to present themselves. The more you get into like the symbolism and the allegory of understanding what up means, what down means, what forward means, what backward means, what left means, what right means, what a combination of fucking any of the two combined means. You get what I'm saying? You'll start to get more clues of how these things will actually present themselves to you. You get what I'm saying? Because we all gonna be on a spiraling type of cycle, but the virtue and principle of the cycle that you're experiencing at the moment might be different than mine, for the simple fact of you headed in a different direction, esoterically speaking, even though directions don't really even exist. It's all a matter of perception and how you're viewing it. You get what I'm saying? But whatever direction that you're going in, it's gonna have different things attached to it, different energies for you to experience, different lessons to be had, different da 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 da. You get what I'm saying? So like for example, we'll give two little examples for this shit before we move on. If you're traveling on a left turn westward type of cycle, type of spiral, and your spiral is reaching you more towards the left side, that's going to deal with a lot of opposition type of energy and going against the grain type of energy, being unique, individualistic, standing out from the crowd type of shit like that. It's going to deal with a lot of challenges and oppositions in that type of way. Now, on the right type of aspect, directionally speaking, however the fuck you're viewing these things, you get what I'm saying? If you're going towards rightward, eastward type of directions, that's going to deal with righteousness and being more inclusive and being more relatable and all that type of shit. You get what I'm saying? So that's just two examples of how these things might present themselves to you. But the key thing to take into notice is, you get what I'm saying? These things all have layers. So let's say, for example, I'm traveling up my spiral and mine's going upward at the moment. So let's just keep it in that aspect. The directional shit that we're talking about. And also keep in mind too, if you're viewing it from a down to up type of aspect, or down or up to down type of aspect, however you're viewing it in that way, keep in mind these things still revolve around the axis. It's not like straight up and straight down. These things like revolve around the axis. So in your path of moving forward, in your path of moving backward, in your path of moving up or moving down, these things still have a bit of a directional aspect to it. So even if like you're on a path that's strictly up or strictly forward at the moment, you get what I'm saying? You have to keep into consideration that it still has aspects of the other directions in it. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm constantly going up and my shit is going to the right, rotating to the left, like what would that be, counterclockwise or whatever, take into consideration when I'm pivoting and I'm moving through that cycle, I'm not just going up, I'm going to the left, I'm also going forward, I'm also going to the right, I'm also going backward, I'm also going to the left, I'm also going forward, I'm also going to the right, I'm also going backward. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, these things just overlap and compound upon each other. Like I said, I've told y'all this a plenty of time. Everything in life has to do with momentum. You get what I'm saying? So you're going to be presented with certain things that overlap themselves on this cycle. So let's say, for example, I'm traveling up my spiral. I get to a point where there is like a lesson to be had. There's something to learn from this position right here on the spiral, on my path, on my cycle that I'm fucking currently going through at the moment, right? So whenever I stop there for a moment and view the surroundings and see what is actually taking place for my on my cycle at the moment, you get what I'm saying? When I'm stopping and viewing all that shit, I'm at that point, right? Now I get past that lesson. I learn whatever I'm meant to, and I'm continuing on my path, right? Rotate back to that same exact position, but I'm gonna have like an overarching view of it. Instead of being below it or on the same level as it, I'm spiraling up. So I'm gonna be up above it now and viewing that exact same circumstance and situation, lesson, person, place, thing, energy, fucking whatever we want to say. I'm viewing that same exact thing in a more broader and a more expanded type of way. So it's not as small and it's not as unfamiliar as it was whenever I first encountered this lesson or this energy or this whatever I'm fucking dealing with in my cycle at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So whenever I get to that next point, I'm above it now. So and this isn't to an like, ooh, fucking I'm above it now. My shit don't stink, and I'm just the baddest bitch on earth. Like, no, motherfucker, we don't operate on that type of shit. I'll tell you right now, if there's one thing you need to know from this channel, we don't operate on no levels of fucking hierarchy, better than you. Like, yeah. Now, in my mind, I might observe, notice, realize that shit, I'm more wise and intelligent than 99.9% of the fucking population at this point. But that's not to say that I think I'm any better than anyone else. I'm just more capable of fucking comprehending, to me, simple shit. Like, to most of the world, it's the most fucking spaced out, fucking far out, galactic fucking shit ever. And I get it. It's because we coming from a universal perspective, but at the same time, like, bruh, like, to me, this is the shit that I be breaking down, this is simple shit. This is all shit that should be common knowledge. It's not anything that should be gate kept. It's not anything that should fucking be that hard to understand or have to break it down 100,000 different ways. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, when you on your cycle and you come to that next position of that same energy, person, place, thing, fucking lesson, characteristic trait that you working with and wrestling with, whatever, when you come to it the second time, you always gonna have a better view of it. You gonna have a higher, more expanded, more broader view of it because you did the work the first time. You didn't let it stifle you. You didn't let it keep you there. You didn't let it make you on your forward, upward axis, cycle, spiral. You didn't let it like stop you and fucking put you back down on a downward spiral or nothing like that. Like you were like had the perseverance type of energy. You had the energy to like keep going and work through that shit. And no matter what happens, like I'm a do what the fuck I need to do and da 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 da. So you kept it going. And when you come to it the second time, shit, it just get easier and easier. You know what I'm saying? For that battle specifically, until you get the full circumference of whatever it is you meant to learn from that lesson in particular. Get what I'm saying? Now, there's another aspect to take into consideration. Another aspect to take into consideration from the cycles that we do experience is a lot of the times you ain't ready for the full totality of what that lesson is. You get what I'm saying? You ain't ready for it. And you know you ain't ready for it. So you're not going to manifest the totality of that experience if your bitch ass ain't ready for it. So this is another thing to take into consideration. When we are on these cycles and you're in a position where you ain't quite ready for whatever lesson is trying to present itself through a person, place, thing, environment, fucking city, state, country, whatever it may be, right? You will start to experience small percentage levels of it before you actually get the full totality of whatever it is that this lesson is trying to teach you, or the lesson itself. Sometimes you get what I'm saying. I've noticed certain situations where I was not quite yet ready for a particular lesson or a particular person, place, or thing to come into my life, or a certain mentality or a certain energy or da 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 da, whatever the fuck it may be. You get what I'm saying? Something that I wasn't quite ready for. So I seen it present itself to me in very small and minute ways. Now, a good bit of the time, you're not going to notice these things when they very first present themselves to you. This is something that you would have to realize and notice from being in your Virgo-like analytical space where you're doing your internal work and you are tracking your reality. You get what I'm saying? You might not see what is being presented to you until you go through the second phase of that cycle. You stopped here the first time, experienced very, very small percentage levels of it. And then when you come back the second time or the third time, this is when you start to get more of what it is, right? So, for example, excuse me. So, for example, when you go through a cycle for the very first time, say, let's use like a very specific example, right? Okay. Say, for example, there's a certain area that you're supposed to live at, right? Or okay, we're gonna keep to one example so it's not so chaotic and we're not trying to give y'all two fucking examples at the same time, right? Okay, say for example, there's a particular female that's supposed to come into your life and teach you some type of lesson, right? You're supposed to develop a relationship with this female. You're supposed to like romantically or otherwise. I guess it could be otherwise, but for the sake of fucking argument and not complicating things, let's just say this female's supposed to come into your life. You're supposed to develop a romantic relationship with this female. She's supposed to teach you some type of lesson through that romantic relationship, to hold up a mirror to you and reflect to you whatever shortcomings that you have, and where you're still lacking at as a person, and how to become better through that relationship, and the lesson that you are meant to pick up and learn from that relationship, right? So whenever you come to that cycle the very first time, and and keep in mind, for this example, we're talking about something that you're not quite ready for yet. You get what I'm saying? This is something that is just presenting itself to you in the very minuscule, small remnant remains of it, before you actually like get to like basically like sticking your toe in the water before like diving in type shit. And that's how like you as a spirit would manifest that energy into your life when you're not ready for it. You need to dip your toe in the water a little bit and like soak in a little bit of the minerals and the shit from that environment to give you the tools necessary to sufficiently carry yourself through that environment when that cycle come back around the second time, right? That's how you would actually manifest it for yourself, and present it to yourself. Now, you might not know this with your conscious mind, but like I said, the more you get into understanding your subconscious and your unconscious, and you get into the aspect of actually like tracking your reality, analyzing the things that are happening to you and why they are happening to you, you get what I'm saying? The more you will see, like you'll be able to pinpoint back, oh, this is like this was the starting point for this shit. Before I even started, like before I even like dove in head first and jumped in the water and got my hair wet and all that shit, like this was the real starting point of this shit, right? So let's get back to the example. I'm not trying to like throw y'all off and be all over the place. It's just like certain disclaimers and fucking internal shit that I got to present to y'all so the lines don't get blurred and shit get all misconstrued and fucked off. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, back to the example. There's a woman who you need to learn a lesson from through your romantic relationship with her, but you're not ready for it yet. So you're coming across this cycle for the very first time, right? First time you come across this cycle, you might just be around, like you might just hang around where this girl live at, and you don't even know it yet. Keep in mind, you have no idea yet, right? So the first time it presents itself to you, oh, you might just like hang out in her neighborhood or some shit, right? Or like you just be in her neighborhood sometimes for like no reason, like you just be there, or like you find yourself there or some shit, right? That's how it would present itself to you the very first time. You're not interacting with anyone. You're not receiving anything from this cycle or this lesson other than sticking your toe in the water and being around that environment and picking up that energy that internally you're willing towards you, right? So first cycle, you just in the neighborhood. You just there, you just by her house for no apparent reason. You fucking are walking to work every day, and for some reason your walk cuts directly through her neighborhood and shit like that. That's how it would go for the first part of the cycle. And you repeat that for a little bit, or you do that a couple of times, and then you start to be ready for the next phase of the cycle, right? So when the next phase of the cycle starts to present itself to you, you be in a position where, okay, now I've already been around the neighborhood. I've already been around her house and shit like that and picking up the energy and soaking in the energy. Now, all of a suddenly, through random connections, you work with somebody's your manager, fucking you're in cahoots with somebody, you have some form of an associate who is tapped in with somebody that's close to her. Now, before we get any further, keep in mind, this is what the example that I'm giving to y'all. This is not like a fucking definitive, objective standpoint for this shit, and like it's just gonna present itself to you the exact same way. I already said this once before at the beginning of the video, but just as a reminder, keep in mind, this shit ain't just gonna present itself to you the exact same way that I'm telling you. This is like a very, very specific type of example, but it's going to present itself to you in very similar ways. It's going to increase in intensity and broadness as you go on. You get what I'm saying? So back to the example. When you coming across a second phase, like I said, you got some type of an associate who is tapped in with this girl's family or some shit, right? And keep in mind, once again, you are not aware of this at all. You do not know this, right? So let's say through this associate, you end up meeting a member of this female's family, her mother, her father, fucking cousin, brother, aunt, da 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 da. And it might present itself to you in a few different ways. Keep in mind, when you're going through the second, third, fourth phases of this cycle, and you're starting to like climb the ranks, so to speak, and you're starting to experience bigger percentage levels of this energy or this fucking lesson that you're experiencing through your cycle at the moment, the second, third, fourth, fifth time, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So like I said, second time, you say, for example, you got a person that you work with who is offering to take you out to the bar, right? Unbeknownst to you, the person that you about to go out to the bar with is not only your manager, but the manager is married to the girl that you supposed to be with in the future, mom, right? The manager married to her mom, right? And you don't know this, right? You have no idea about this shit, right? Boom. Third time you go to experience it on the cycle, and like I said, you're not aware of any of this shit. You're not aware of what's about to come in the future. You get what I'm saying? So on the second phase, you're introduced to this female's mom, unbeknownst to you, and y'all chop it up and have y'all's own type of impressions and relationship together. And I don't want to say relationship because that imply like more in-depth association with this person. I would just say y'all like relate with each other conversationally to a certain degree and on y'all's talking points and how you view things to a certain degree, right? So boom, you got that second level sewn up now. You receive some energy from the actual female mother and shit like that. You start to like test yourself and show yourself like, yeah, I would be able to handle this energy a little bit. I would be able to move through whatever that actual end point of that lesson of that specific cycle itself is. I will actually be able to move through that more sufficiently. You get what I'm saying? I'm showing myself that. So boom, third time, now it come around. All of a sudden, you're not even associated with that person that took you out to the bar no more. You're not even around them on a day-to-day basis anymore. You don't even work at that job anymore. Matter of fact, that person don't even work at that job no more. So boom, now all of a sudden you're developing different associations, different connections, different ways of relating to people through whatever other fucking type of concepts you be into, whatever type of nefarious acts and shit like that you be into. Not necessarily always nefarious. I just wanted to use that word for some reason. But anyways, so you start to develop other associations and shit like that. Boom. All of a suddenly, now you are in cahoots and in association with members of this same female's family, but more of them now. So it's like now you around aunties and uncles, and now you around cousins and shit like this and da 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 da. And once again, this is still all unbeknownst to you. You have no idea that these people is family with this person, right? You have absolutely no idea. You are just thinking these are fucking random, coincidental people that are coming across your path. Unbeknownst to you, you're actually actively being a creator of your own reality, and you're manifesting these people into your current circumstance and situation for the simple fact of you are on a cycle at the moment, you are learning lessons at the moment, and these things all have a time, place, and a reason for them. And once you get to the end of that cycle or that lesson, that's when you understand it and you hop on to the next cycle. You get what I'm saying? That's when you will actually be able to pinpoint, oh shit, so that's why all these people was coming in and da 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 da, and that's why I was like in connections and had these type of connections with these people and shit. This was the meaning and reasoning for it. You start to develop meanings and reasonings, and you start to realize why shit is happening. You don't have to always be in a position of being like, oh, why God, and always asking why and shit. Like you the more you put in your internal work and the more you understand yourself, the more that you can understand life, and the more that you can not just imaginatively, randomly coming up with meanings and reasonings, you are actually actively observing and analyzing the meaning and reasoning behind what is actually taking place in front of your fucking face at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So boom, now, like I said, you climbed those few ranks or whatever on this cycle, and you move on to the next cycle now after these family members and shit like that has been around you and da 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 da, all this, right? Boom. So now you experience the female for the first time, right? Now, if it's like a big lesson, sometimes the first time that you meet the female and be around her, you get what I'm saying? It's still not going to give you the totality of what you need from the lesson and from this cycle, because once again, you're not ready for it. So you experience a smaller percentage level of it, even though it is great than all the things that we observed and analyzed leading up to this point. It is much bigger than all those other things, but it is still not the peak of this experience, the peak of this cycle, the peak of this lesson that you're meant to learn from this, right? So the first time you encounter this female, right, it might play out in a certain way where y'all have to separate from each other fairly quickly, right? Boom. So that would be like the next phase of the cycle before you get to like the real big, juicy, meaty, that shit, right? So the first time you ever actually encounter this female, it would be something that burns out quick or ends like catastrophically all of a suddenly for no apparent reason type shit, right? Until you like analyze it and look at why the fuck it's happening, right? So that's how it would present itself when you see the female for the very first time. Now, whenever you get to the end of that cycle, if you learn the right lessons from the first time that the female presented itself to you, like if you're not picking up what the fuck the universe is putting down, if you're not picking up what the fuck your spirit is putting down, bitch, you're gonna have to repeat the shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you might fall all the way back very beginning and have to start all over type shit. But if you're actually in a position where you're learning from these things and learning the lessons that you're meant to learn, developing and giving yourself the tools that this fucking experience was trying to give you in the first place, the more that you would be in a position to be able to handle what is to come from this cycle. You get what I'm saying? So, boom, you move on to the next phase. And this will be the part where the totality of the experience start to actually like show itself. You start to see all the ins and outs of it. You start to see the bigger picture, the bigger lesson that is actually being presented to you, aside from all these subsidiary versions and all these smaller points on the spiral leading up to the main totality circumstance. You get what I'm saying? The main totality lesson, the main totality cycle. You get what I'm saying? Once you reach that point, now you get to see everything. You get what I'm saying? And now a lot of times these things, maybe it's not meant to last forever. Maybe you just meant to learn this particular lesson and move on with your fucking life and move on with your fucking self. You get what I'm saying? That might be what the whole entire mission of this shit is. But to make things very short, sweet, and simple, this is what the cycle is and how things present themselves to you. You get what I'm saying? Now, you can jump from different cycles. You get what I'm saying? Once you reach the top of one, you automatically go on to another one, because fuck, life is infinite. Experience is infinite. Lessons and learning and fucking growing as an individual is infinite. So you're not ever going to be in a position where you're stagnant and you just got nothing to do or nothing to learn and shit like that. Even if you're going on a downward spiral, you're in a position where there's still things for you to learn, areas and opportunities for growth. You get what I'm saying? Things that you can be doing to fucking move forward with your life. You get what I'm saying? And not being stuck and in the same position constantly. That's how this shit go. That's how this shit go. Now let's give one more example before we give our outro for this shit, because we already an hour in. One last example, okay? Say for example, there's a certain area within a certain state, a certain country that you're supposed to be in, right? The first time on the cycle of you heading towards actually being in that place and learning lessons from it and da 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 and experiencing the totality of that, the first time it presents itself to you, you just seeing it through the internet, right? You just seeing, oh, this so and so state, this so and so country, and you just like drawn to it or something. Like you just like it or some shit, right? You like, oh man, like you attracted to it in some way. You like, oh man, that place looked pretty cool. I fuck with that place. Da 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 da. Now, this isn't the case for every fucking single little thing. Like, don't get too fucking letting your mind spin out on you and thinking like, oh, every little thing that I'm attract to or have an interest in is a fucking symbol and a lesson and I'm supposed to no, don't get too deep into shit. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, you just attracted to this place for no reason, right? But that's how it will present itself to you for the first time. Now also, okay, thank you. Now also keep in mind it's gonna be a situation where, like, if you're just attracted to something and then there's none of the other things that come after it, that's like your indicator to let you know, like, oh, that's just something that I'm interested in or attracted to at the moment. It's not necessarily a cycle or a lesson that I need to be on, and I don't need to force myself into a position where I'm viewing this as a cycle and like trying to force my way into it or some shit like that. Like, no, that's not the case with everything. You gotta peep game of what comes after the first thing. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, continue on with the example. First time you see this state or this country, you just attracted to it and you're just viewing it from a distance type shit, right? Cool, right? Now, next time it presents itself to you, moving up the ranks a bit. The second time it presents itself to you is going to be a situation where now you actually there. Now you in that country. You travel there for some reason. Who knows why? Or it could be a situation where you was just on the road on the interstate and you just passing through that state or something. Or you passing through you in a plane and you fly over that country or some shit like that. That could be the second phase of it. Boom. Then you move on to the third phase. Now you actually, like, you there, boots on the ground, making moves in that environment, right? Going there, doing little things, depending on what your path is and what your cycle is and what you actually like do with yourself. This would appear a lot differently to a lot of other people. So, like, for me specifically, it would be like, first time, see it from a distance, see other people interacting in that state or country. Second time, I pass through it, or I travel there for some reason, or I fly over it by plane or some shit like that. I'm close to it in some type of way. Boom. Third time I go, it'll be a situation where, like, I go there very first time, not too much going on, do a little bit of work, perform a show one time or some shit like that. For me specifically, because I'm a musician, I'm an artist, I fucking make music and stuff like that. So a lot of the time, anytime I'm traveling anywhere, I'm doing some type of work that's correlated to that. You get what I'm saying? So third time, boom, I'm actually there. I do something like make one song, perform one time, or try to perform and it don't really work out and the show get canceled or some type of shit like that. Then boom, third time I come back. Now it's at a greater greater aspect. It's at a more intense level. Now, third time I go there, the second time I had a little bit of difficulties. It seemed like things wasn't really going my way that much, right? But this is all part of the cycle. This is all a part of the lessons that you learn and the ins and outs of what you're dealing with, the trials and tribulations that you're going to experience. Boom. The third time I get there, now it's a little bit more ease of access. I'm able to, like, let my guard down a little bit more and I get my way a lot easier. So the third time I go there now, I'm experiencing it at a more intense level. So third time is like, I get there, shit, I record a whole album or And these things all tie into each other. I record a whole album on the third time, and I record a music video for a song in that album, and I perform, and I perform more than once, and I'm shooting music videos for people, and I'm being the cameraman for people, and I'm helping people come up with ideas, and you get what I'm saying? Now, the fourth time is more intense. Now, the fifth time, shit, I'm moving there. And now I live there. And now that day to day, that's just my life. Every weekend we're going to perform. Every day of the week we're recording a new song. Every fucking month to 2 months we got a new album to drop. You get what I'm saying? That's how these things will present themselves to you. Now, I gave you examples of one positive and one negative. The negative, and don't take negative in the wrong way as far as it being detrimental or something. I'm just saying in a way that it fucking appear to you. You get what I'm saying? It might seem very negative. It might seem very chaotic, aka the lessons that you learn through the first example that I gave you about the female. The lessons that you learn, they might be very harsh. They might be very difficult, dealing with a lot of arguments, dealing with a lot of unfaithfulness, dealing with cheating, dealing with lying, dealing with dealing with levels of manipulation and narcissism and shit like this. You get what I'm saying? That will be presented as negative, but the lesson that it gives you and the mentality that it gives you to move forward is actually a very positive thing. You get what I'm saying? Same thing on the positive side. It's not to say that the mentality that you're going to develop is going to be a negative thing out of it, but I'm just saying. You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You're still going to develop positive shit out of the positive aspect of it. I mean, there is obviously a way that you could derive some negative mentalities or negative ways of viewing things and perspectives out of anything positive or negative. You get what I'm saying? But from my perspective, everything just end up positive and for my best good in every circumstance and situation, no matter how bad it appears, no matter how fucked up it appears, and no matter how good it appears. I don't ever get washed into the goodness of things and fucking become a loser off of those simple facts. You get what I'm saying? But anyways, like I said, it's just a cycle, bro. Everything is just a cycle. These things will present itself to you in a multitude of different ways. It'll start small and it will become more intense over time. Keep that in mind and keep that into consideration. And as you move forward, just be analytical, analyze everything, observe everything, break shit down, come to your own conclusions and realize the meanings and reasonings behind the things that you're experiencing and why they are presenting themselves to you in the first place. That way, you know what you need to lean towards and what you need to stay the fuck away from. You get what I'm saying? That's what these things will give you. If you're viewing them in the right aspect, in a true way, and really breaking shit down and really learning how to understand things, you'll be in a position where, shit, I had a point. Why are my points leaving me? I got it. The more that you learn how to understand yourself and understand things and observe these things and be more analytical, the more you will be in a position where you will actually be able to really fully see what you should lean towards and what you should stray the fuck away from. You get what I'm saying? That's what these cycles are for. That's why they keep presenting themselves to you in a certain type of way. You get what I'm saying? Now, you have multitude of cycles that you can jump onto at any given moment. You get what I'm saying? You just need to learn from the starting point where this is going to make you end up at, where it's actually taking you, where it's leading you to. If it's someplace you don't want to be, don't interact with it. Don't engage with it. Don't entertain the bullshit. You get what I'm saying? Very simple, not hard to understand, not complex at all. Like this shit is very, very simple. This is literally just life as we see it and as we experience it. Point blank, period. Life as we see it and as we experience it. Know what the fuck you doing. Know what the fuck is going on. Stop asking why all the time. Don't be in that position. Don't be in that position where you looking outside yourself and asking why all the time. Tell yourself the conclusion. Tell yourself the meaning and reasoning of why this shit is taking place in the first place. Very simple. Not complicated. Anyways, that's pretty much the fucking totality of what I got for y'all today. Any questions or comments, y'all can drop them below. We're at 105 right now. I will stay in here until 110. That way we can collect any questions or comments on this particular topic, and then we can get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I'll stay in here for another 5 minutes, let y'all generate y'all's ideas and questions and comments and shit like that. If nobody says anything, we're gone. And if they do, we'll break down the questions and comments for as long as it takes. You know what I'm saying? So that's essentially what we doing now at this point. So I'm gonna just chill, take a breather, let the clock run out, and fucking just vibe. You know what I'm saying? This was a good video, by the way. Like this was a really good video. If anybody is coming across this for the very first time and you just now hearing my voice and just now seeing this, if you ain't watched this from beginning to end, this is something that you need to absolutely watch from beginning to end. That way you'll get some clues and context for the things that you be experiencing and how they're coming to you. You get what I'm saying? Because if you on a negative road with this shit, it'll be the every example that I just gave, it'll be flipped on its head pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So like, for example, let's just give this one last example on the like true negative side of things. That is like you being in a negative perspective, you being in a negative mindset, and you're allowing these cycles to be to your detriment and bring you down to a certain degree, right? Excuse me. All right. Now, let's give this example. If you're in a negative perspective and a negative mindset, and you're allowing your cycles to drag you down as a person, make you become lesser, make you whatever terminology we want to fucking use, right? If you're in that position, the first time when the cycle come across to you, it'll be like punishment for whatever outdated characteristic or trait or mentality that you're carrying at the moment. Or it'll be punishment for whatever way of conducting yourself in reality that you are operating on at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So the first time it presents itself for you, it'll be like, let's use in that for an example, the aspect of a thief for the moment, right? A thief, right? The first time they steal some shit, they might fully get away with it. No slap on the wrist, no nothing. Nobody's none the wiser to it, right? So they steal some shit, nobody has any idea, and they just quote unquote get away with it, right? That's how it will present itself to you the first time. Now, the second time you steal some shit and you a thief, and that's like not what you're supposed to be doing. I can't speak for everybody. There might be some people out here who is supposed to be thieves or some shit. I have no fucking idea. I can't speak for you and your path, right? But anyways, if you're a thief and it's not what you're supposed to be doing, first time it goes unpunished, right? Second time you experience this cycle, you would experience a little bit of a small percentage level of the actual punishment, right? Boom. So second time you steal some shit, you get cursed out. Or like you steal a package off of somebody's porch from UPS or some shit, and they open the door and they screaming at you and cussing you out or some shit, right? That'll be the second time, right? Boom. Third time, and that should be your indicator right there. I ain't supposed to be doing this shit. People don't fuck with this shit. If I was supposed to be a thief, it would just be me getting away with it every damn time, and nobody would say a goddamn word outside their lips to fucking counteract anything that I got going on. But anyways, boom. Second time, you steal some shit, you get cursed out for it. Third time, now you experiencing greater percentage levels of the shit, right? Third time, you go and steal some shit, and you encounter the person whose property that you just stole all of a suddenly. Like they track you down or some shit. That they're able to track you down and try to get their shit back. Boom. That's what you would experience the third time. A little bit more intense than the second time, but still yet not overly intense to the point where it's fucking like true detriment yet, right? Once again, People are tracking you down, finding where you're at with the fucking stolen property. Once again, this should be an indicator, bitch. You need to slow the fuck down, stop what you're doing, make a pivot, change up your vision, change up your gameplay and your tactics, because obviously the shit is not fucking working for you. Boom. Fourth time, now you go and steal some shit. Not only do they track you down, but they come and beat the shit out of you for it, right? One-on-one, hand-to-hand combat. A motherfucker just come and punch you inside of your fucking face for stealing their property, right? That'll be the third time or fourth time, whatever the fuck cycle piece segment of the goddamn example that we on at the moment. Boom. Next time, now you steal some shit. They find out where you live and they bring the homies with them and they beat the shit out of you and jump your ass and they hurt you way more badly than a one-on-one hand-to-hand combat could do you in for. Double black eyes, fucking swole, busted lip, all type of shit. Broke nose, bleeding everywhere profusely and all this and that. Boom. All right. So now, once again, this should be your fucking key indicators to let you know, bitch, you doing the wrong thing. You need to chill the fuck out. You need to go do something else and quit being a dumbass for the moment. Boom. So next tip on the cycle. Once again, realize it started out very small. Now it's becoming more intense as the cycle goes on, right? Boom. Next time. And now keep in mind, there might be fucking segments in between these cycles where you're stealing shit still and getting away with it to a certain degree, but you're still getting these pieces of the cycle along the line as well. You get what I'm saying? Everybody can't be caught every time. You know what I mean? So boom. Next segment on the cycle. Now you done got your ass jumped and all type of shit, and motherfuckers is knowing where you live, and now you labeled as a thief in the public eye and all type of other shit, and da 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 da. Boom. Now next time on the cycle, you're gonna experience an even more greater level of intensity. Boom. Next time you steal some shit. Not only do these motherfuckers track you down, know where you live, they called up the homeboys and they brought the fucking Dracos and the Max with them and shit like that. Motherfuckers is pulling up with goddamn extendo clips and putting guns to your head with no safety on and fucking finger on the trigger and pointing it at your fucking face, cranium cavity and all this type of shit. Goddamn, it's getting more intense now. So now you getting fucking damn near death threats over the shit and things like that. So, oh my God, you need to chill the fuck out. But no, you're a dumbass. So you continue on this downward spiral and on this negative cycle that you manifesting for yourself, and fuck, you must be happy with goddamn guns in your face and shit like that. So fuck it, keep on going, I guess. Hooray for you and shit. So boom, next piece, next segment on the cycle. Now, fuck, they find out where you live. Instead of calling the homeboys this time, they call the fucking Blue Line gang. They call in the fucking boys in blue and shit like that. All of a sudden, you got 117 fucking cops outside your house talking about some goddamn stolen property that you should have never even took in the fucking first place, hoe ass boy. But anyways, boom. So the police show up now and they filing police reports and all this type of shit. Now you dealing with court and all this extra type of little things like this is becoming more and more intense. Now you got to go sit in front of a judge. Now you arrested and shit like that, and you in jail for a certain period of time. So boom, you're in jail for 6 months now on this cycle. It's getting more intense, right? In jail for 6 months on this cycle, and then after you get out of jail on the 6-month sentence, now you got like 2 years of probation and shit that you got to deal with, and go and report and take drug tests and all this type of shit and blah 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 blah. So boom, you might have even did good while you was on probation. You took a break from stealing shit from motherfuckers just while you was on probation and shit, right? But keep in mind, it's more intense from the last levels of things. Not only like you received death threats and you had guns pointed in your face. That's pretty intense. But getting your fucking freedom taken away and becoming like a fucking government slave for their corporation and being locked up behind bars and working for pennies on the dollar and shit like that, that is debatably worse than being killed or getting threatened to be killed and having a fucking gun in your face. You know what I'm saying? Jail is not fun. So anyways, boom, you experience that piece of the cycle now. So moving forward, it's going to get more intense, right? Now, instead of being in a position where you go into jail, you steal some shit again. And this time, whenever you steal the shit, they call the cops again. But now you're a repeat offender with the same type of charges that you had. And this time it might even be to a more intense degree. You might have had a crowbar with you to bust their window and break into their car, or you might have had a crowbar with you to break into their house and steal their plasma screen TVs and all the gifts underneath the Christmas tree, like fucking bitch ass Grinch up in here or some shit like this. And they get you with armed robbery now all of a suddenly, because they're conflating the use of the crowbar to break into the house as also having a deadly weapon that could be used in the course of this crime. So now you're receiving armed robbery, and now all of a sudden you go to prison instead of jail. You go to prison for 5 to 10 years, and while you in prison, you getting fucking poked up like a goddamn pin cushion and shit like that. All of a sudden you getting stabbed in jail and you leaking way more blood than the fucking lesser percentage of this cycle that you experienced when you got your ass jumped all them fucking months and years ago. You get what I'm saying? On this piece and segment of the cycle now is way much more greater. You actually getting stabbed up. You actually in prison. You actually getting fucked over and shit like this. Boom. So now come to conclusions on this negative cycle, you move on to the next phase of it like a dumbass. You get out of prison. You ain't got to deal with no probation, no nothing like that. You went to college and learned how to become a better convict and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So boom. But you really ain't learned shit. You still out here doing the same things, right? So boom, you go and do the same shit. You go and try to steal off another motherfucker. You go and break into this person's house. You got a flashlight and a pistol with you, bro. All of a suddenly you break into this house and this person is strapped to the motherfucking gills. Matter of fact, they're a fucking Marine veteran or some shit like that, and they just come through there and fucking wipe your ass off the map all of a suddenly. That's the conclusion of the cycle. That's what will happen when you on like a super negative cycle. Now, it's not to say that anytime you're on a negative cycle, these things always end in death due to you not learning the lesson from the cycle. Debatably, 9 times out of 10, it probably is and could be because of that shit for why you died. You know what I'm saying? But in certain scenarios, it's not always gonna lead to your fucking ultimate demise and your ultimate death and shit like that. You would just be in a hellistic type of state of being where you fucking hate yourself, you hate your life, and shit just never goes your way and shit like that. So it might not always be a aspect where you're bringing yourself to an actual physical death because of these things. But what you need to take into consideration is the way that I just broke that down is exactly how these things will present itself to you. It starts at a very small percentage level and it gets more intense over time the more that you refuse to learn the lessons off of what you are receiving at the moment. You get what I'm saying? The more you go down that downward spiral, the more intense it gets, the more fucked up things get, the more chaotic things get. And it's just is what it is at that point. You know what I'm saying? You made your bed, you got to lie in it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let yourself get too far on any type of negative cycle. Learn the lessons you're supposed to learn. That way you can use that as a tool and an amplifier to boost you up and move on to the next stage of schools that actually move you towards really where you want to be at. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to famous Malo in the chat. But in conclusion, off of that example, what I really came here to say is life is a cycle. Life is a spiral. Things present themselves to you in a small way first. That way they can compound upon each other, build momentum in those areas, build strength in those areas. Where you're weak at, you will become strong at. And you just experience it. Like just experience it. Don't be afraid of nothing. Don't avoid things. You know what I'm saying? Just let it be what it's gonna be, and you will pick up what the fuck you meant to pick up. If you got a mind anything even close to being similar to like me, you gonna have this shit figured out very, very easily. It ain't gonna be nothing to you. And you'll be able to identify what cycle you're currently on, what lessons you are currently being presented with, where your opportunities lie at, where you can attack certain things, where you can manipulate certain things, not in a negative way, whatever other type of fucking beneficial words you want to tie to this shit. you gonna have all the juice that you need to be sufficient in any area and travel through any area unharmed and unscathed. You get what I mean? It's effortless. It's effortless. And like I told y'all before, all this shit is very simple. It's not like this is not a complicated thing that I'm talking about here today. It might have taken me an hour and 20 minutes to really get out the totality of what I've been observing and analyzing from this. But with that being said, it's not complicated at all. Like, it's really not. If anybody is having a hard time understanding this shit, like I really don't know what to tell you, because I'm really just speaking about life at the moment. And if you can't peep game from your own level of fucking experience, then what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I already know that most of the world is choosing to be dumb because nobody is really building anything at the moment. Everyone is just siphoning energy from wherever the fuck they can get it from at the moment. But still, bro, like, all of y'all still live life. All of y'all still have experiences. You know what I'm saying? So if you are looking at this video and coming up with talking points in your own mind to refute anything that I'm saying, you are lying to yourself, you're lying to me, and you're ignoring your own experiences. Like, real shit. Like, that's all you doing. And you're shout out to Zay Quarter, because he the one who came up with this linguistics, this expression in the first place. You just giving yourself excuses to be lazy. You don't want to do the work to understand, to move forward, because it take work. Like, you just want to be lazy. Yeah, like if you are sitting here telling me that anything that I'm saying in this video, particular, actually, matter of fact, across my whole channel, there ain't a fucking word that I've uttered outside of my mouth that don't make sense. And there's not a word that I've uttered outside of my mouth that does not have physical experiences to back it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, y'all be baffling me sometimes with how much like y'all want to be lazy and avoid the work. Like that's really all it is. Like if you're pointing at this video or anything on my channel and telling me that any of this shit don't make sense, you just want to be lazy and you are ignoring your own experiences for that purpose. So you can avoid the work and be lazy and just have everything handed to you in a mental and emotional way. Like, yeah, you might be the hardest working motherfucker ever. You might go and work 117,000 9-to-5 jobs. You got fucking 6 jobs at the same time, work 127,000 hours a week and all this type of shit, and got fucking 15 different levels of pensions waiting for you when you turn 65, 70 years old. I don't give a fuck, bitch. You still lazy. Like, real shit. You still lazy because you taking what was given to you. You taking the handouts mentally and emotionally from a societal standards perspective, from a government programming perspective, from a indoctrination and education perspective. Like, stop playing, observe your life, peep game of your own experiences. And the more that you do that, the more that everything that I'm saying to you will make 100% complete sense to you. If it don't at the moment, that just lets you know right there that you have been being lazy with yourself. You've been taking the handouts that have been presented to you and you just take things as how they're taught to you instead of teaching your own self, living your own life, living your own experiences, and fucking it's very simple. It's very simple. Don't be afraid of the work. Don't avoid the work. Don't be a scared little bitch. Don't be lazy, bro. Like, real shit. Very simple. Anyways, that's pretty much our outro. That's our fucking declination to the, yeah. Just know we all experiencing cycles. If y'all need anything, let me know. I didn't put anything in the description this time. I've been changing up how I've been doing things a little bit, but if you need anything as far as fucking consultation, need to understand your chart a little bit, need to understand whatever cycle it is that you're currently going through a little bit, and you need a little bit of a fucking crutch to lean on, I provide that to you. Hit me up on Instagram. Schwetzel. You're going to see any type of social media that you look me up on and are trying to find me, type in the name Schwetzel. You will find me everywhere by that name except for Facebook. That's the only one that isn't Schwetzel. You know what I'm saying? But any other social media, namely Instagram, that would be my friends for y'all to tap in and look at me there. And get up with me, DM me on the Instagram messages. That would be the number one place. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that, like I said, I could temporarily provide you with a crutch if you need it, but my way of providing you a crutch is going to be telling you how to operate with no crutch. So that's another thing that you need to realize. If you're looking for assistance in a way of always having somebody to be there that's going to be a mental crutch to you and provide assistance to you all the time, I'm not going to be that person, because I'm going to give you the tools that you need and the outlooks and perspectives that you need to be able to sustain yourself and operate without the use of a crutch. That's what I'm always going to be pointing you towards. And that's what all my videos are going to be for in the first place. Self-sufficiency, period. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, y'all take it easy. Good to see so much activity in here today. Thank y'all for fucking passing through, shouting out, and all that good shit. Once again, shout out to Famous Malo. If you hear and you just being an observer, that is 100% completely fine. But moving forward, you guys who just come by here and just observe, man, give me a shout out from time to time. Come and hop in the comment section. You ain't even got to say shit. Malo just came in here and gave me some emojis and shit like that. Just let me know who's here and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know who you are. Let me know you here and stuff like that. And I'll give you your flowers too. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, we out this bitch. I got some things to do. I've been up for fucking goddamn. It's 4:18 p.m. Goddamn. I've been up for fucking almost 24 hours. Almost 24 hours. 4 more hours, it'll be 24. I'm at 20 right now. Shout out to Mac Dank, bro. Good to see you in this bitch. But anyways, we out of here. I got a couple things I need to do before I fucking lay my head down to rest and shit like that. We'll be right back in the studio tonight. Y'all already know the fucking grind is unmatched. I used to be posting songs a lot more often, but now I've been kind of changing up my tactics with that. As much as I used to post songs, now they're literally all just in my library. So you know what I'm saying? Still on the same shit, grinding the same way. You know what I'm saying? We just changing up the game plan a little bit, changing up the tactics a little bit. Bitch, we learning from our cycles, motherfucker. Anyways, catch y'all later. Good to see everybody. Shouts out to y'all. Peace.